traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, I got caught up watching the Tesla earnings. um, you know they could have done a little bit better, but from the sound of the call, it sounds pretty decent, man. I like what I'm hearing. This is one of the companies that I'm looking to invest into in the long run. So, despite this 6% drop off, I'm still watching at it, and I'm considering buying some shares pretty soon. If we can break down below this level here, this low of 206, and can, over the next couple of days consolidate lower. If we can crack below 200, I want to see if I can't start accumulating some shares on the way down for this company. Of course, it's not financial advice in any way or form. This is just me and what I like and what I see on this company in the long term. I had a couple of guys I was watching. Big shout out to Meet Kevin, of course. I was also checking in on him. He was watching the earnings call. We had Beginner Trader covering the earnings call as well. So a lot of people were engaged in watching. Despite all the day trading that I do, you guys know more so ever than before. Recently, I've been really getting into overall, investing, right? Overall investing and long-term investing, maybe it's a better way to say it, but, we're watching and we're waiting, and things are looking very sweet so far here over the last couple of days. We're going to continue to keep an eye, and we'll see how they go. So to get into the small caps, oh, my Thinkorswim is not even open. What's going on here, man? Ay, ay, ay. Thinkorswim, where are you? I'll have to go to white screen here to sign in. Or, hold on. Boom. I can jump up top to the other monitor. Hold on, give me a quick sec here. Okay, there we go. Come on, let's get logged in. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. There's Thinkorswim. Think or float. Think and win. Think and lose. All the different emotions that I get from this broker because of the good and bad, right? It's a lot of good things that come with this platform, but a few things that, could be better, right? But all in all, it's a pretty solid platform for trading. Free commissions right now, as we know. So, green 174.33. The bulk of our profits came on a resumption. AMPX, we missed. I was very aware of what I was doing on this stock, but not happy with myself. This is a high float stock, pretty cheap. Shouldn't have touched it like how I touched it, right? Needed to be more disciplined. Wait for the bigger pullbacks. There was one pullback in particular that I read very well and just didn't go for it, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is about dips that sometimes I'm just not as confident as I am with the breakouts. Where was it? I believe not AMPX. Where's the other one? There's another one that was cheaper. MVST. This is the one that I meant to say. Yeah, could have traded this one better, buying lower and selling higher over time. It's a high float. I knew that going into it. I knew the price range was slow and steady, and I missed the bulk of the move to begin with, which was this first breakout, right? Pullback, ABCD, clean ABCD here. New highs, missed this entire thing up until about 1 p.m. I came in. So the idea here, as I said, new high and pullback. Look at this charting and how it's marked out, right? So we broke out, and let's see, we got a high of 188. We can also map out this level, right? 188. Let's put it in a different color just for the sake of the level, right? So 188. We dip. The lows initially were at 70. When we came down the second time, lows of 67. Hell, it holds, for just 3 cents of slippage below that low of day level. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Curls up right here, rips to a new high of 202, and dips down to lows of 192. How close is 192 from 188? Fairly close, 4 cents in proximity, and we had lows of 92, then 92, then 92. It doesn't get any more, it doesn't get better than this when you're watching the pullback. You know, 88 previous high of day, triple bottom. You know, what more do we need to tell us, hey, buy low 90s, tight stop at 80, 86, and can we see a break of the highs, right? Because there's 10 cents to the upside if we're in at 93, 94, right? Preferably we want to be in at 93, 92 even better. That way there's only 4 cents of risk, 5 cents of risk. Risking 5 cents to make 10 cents or something more over high of day, 2-to-1 ratio, right? So we get another good incline right here. We rip. So 202 was the high of day, right? We rip, right? Well, let's not say rip, but gradually push higher. High of 216. We dip with a low of where? 203. So it then dips right back in. So this just kept doing the same thing over and over, and they're stepping up, man. You know, and this is where I came around 1 p.m. and I saw it around, what was the high? I believe. Um, Let's see. So I came in. I saw 228. We had a low of 24, which was the previous high right here. But you can see it's a tight 1 minute pullback, right? Tight 1 minute pullback. Didn't take 24, which is the first issue. First issue. Didn't take 24. You know, sometimes I have a problem where I feel like, man, you know, and I did consider the pullbacks, right? You know, we had this beautiful move here. You know, one pullback, right? If you're watching at it, right? 1, 2, 3. It's like we had a couple of areas where we kind of saw that small consolidation, right? I mean, this one was one red candle, but still, it's a 5-minute chart. If not, if you're not counting this, you know, then definitely right here as well. So, for me, a lot of it felt like, man, it's just unfortunate. A stock that's gonna be this clean for these type of trades, you're not here for the bulk of the move, you know. And then I finally come. And I know what I need to look for, but I don't feel confident about it because I feel like I'm chasing. I felt like, man, the dips, we've seen so many dips, like, are the dips going to really work? You know, not confident. And I think that's what sometimes being early provides for you in terms of something good, is that you're there, you're connecting, and so the wind is to your back. You know, you're in the driver's seat, you're in control. Coming here, it's like, man, the train has left the station. You gotta hope the dip is gonna hold. This dip might just be the one that doesn't hold. Then, you know, I'm overthinking it. I don't get the dip there because I'm not confident. I then buy higher. It's not the breakout stock. I fall into a bad cycle. This is poor. You know, I'm glad to only be down $24 because, you know, I was using some size on some areas, and then the one good entry in here, I believe 27 I saw. Once again, lack of confidence on this red candle here. Lack of confidence. And then I believe I saw 33 right here. I took an order, 32. I took orders at 32 right here. And it was a good pullback, right? It was a good pullback. This candle here wasn't ready initially. So we had a low of 30, and then we curled up to a high of 37. Didn't hold it long enough to see the trade through. You know, just once again, I kind of just got caught in a bad cycle, and you know, knowing what I needed to do, and just too much fear. You know, I mentioned to you guys earlier, like, you know, we're gonna check out one of the winning trades from today on the other stock, which was LMAO. Look at the, you know, it's almost kind of backwards, counterintuitive, however you want to say it, that I'm fearless on this type of stock because the volatility here is out of this world on LMAO versus, you know, AMPX, right? Oh, well, not AMPX, the other one, MVST rather. This is slow, it's steady, it's calm, it's tight spreads. You know, what are the chances that a stock like this can drop 50 cents, almost, you know, close to 1%, right? Let's say, unless like there's an offering or something crazy or a really bad headline. That doesn't really happen every day. So, you know, when we watch, it's like, it's something inside of my brain where, one, I feel like missing the lows for so many setups, knowing that it feels kind of like I'm buying kind of high despite buying a dip. And then two, you know, being a little fearful about it flushing down. No fear and no hesitation is what's required to do well on the trades. And I was fearful, and it showed. Sloppy trades, trades that weren't worth it, and we saw nothing. Rightfully so, right? Because it was poor. So, something to definitely keep an eye out for. The best thing I could have done here was to just, hey, if you feel that way about it, don't take any trades. This should have said $0 in the P&L and 0 shares traded. If you feel fearful, if you're hesitant, if you're worried about the risk, then don't touch the stock. Why still try and force something out of the scalps that you know is not going to happen? Poor, 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 poor. Absolutely poor right here. If you're here on time and you're watching these pullbacks, you guys know the ABCD. For me, there's 2 possible entries. One, either the double bottom as we come back down, right? Because once we put in the lows, we have a benchmark, right? Okay, lows 70, 70, 70, 71, 70. Even this in itself at VWAP is a great entry on this 5 minute. You'll see why I'm kind of, feeling how I'm feeling coming late, because when I look at this 500,000 shares, we really increase on volume right here. We pushed to 3 million shares, and look at the pullback. What do I look for on my 5 minute dips? We pull back here with 1.1 and 600,000, and it's double bottoming and holding well. There is no better sign, that this is an entry for me and the type of 5 minute pullbacks I look for. For those of you who saw the recap yesterday, you guys will know I spoke about the 5 minute pullback and where I like to go along in those trades. Was it a recap or was it a live stream? I think I mentioned something about it. Anyhow, if you're a long time viewer, you guys know what I'm looking for here. This is beautiful. From 70, we get to 82, 12 cents. You're near 2,500, 5,000 shares. That's a beautiful trade. There's 500 right there. 500 from 7. Let's say you're in at 72, and you're coming out at 81. Let's say 400. 400 right there. 5,000 shares. 3,000 shares. 300. 280, 250. 10 cents. 10 cents is there, right? Depending on your share size. 500 shares. There's $50, right? All relative to the share size. So this is one setup. Setup number 2. I don't always take the double bottom here because it's a little trickier sometimes, but in this case, we broke down by 3 cents. If you're watching the stock, this is golden here. Volume, again, still pretty light. And if you don't take the double bottom here, where's the next entry? Because I could see myself being in, selling into this move, right? If I'm a little too skeptical here about a pullback, the pivot point. Pivot point is at 82. And from 82 right here is where I would have been getting long, right in this area here. Break of 80, if we're coming up slow and steady, we're holding our levels. And, that's where we could have, and look at how strong this 1 minute candle was. It actually was a really good breakout candle. So, this stock is just disappointing. You got to be here, man. You got to be here. I left out for lunch and some other things, running some errands. What are you going to do? They'll go with or without you. So I could have been in right here in this bubble area, and it grows all the way to 193. If you're in with 2,000 shares, $200, 10 cents. 5,000 shares, $500, 10 cents. These are the trades that I look at and know how to trade, right? Then we dip right here. So when you guys see me come back sometimes from the end of day, we're doing the recap. Hey, I'm up 500. I'm up 1,000. Let's say the morning was slow. It's because I'm watching a stock like this. I'm in tune. I'm recognizing all the good trades, taking it early, confident, green. Beautiful 1 minute pullback. We dip to a low of 85, and from there we start to take off again. We get up to a high of 202. So more entries in here for the 1 minute candle to make a new high. This in itself is a miniature ABCD here, and then we do make new highs again over break of 2 finally. Right, so 208, small pullback, and then it continued. So, a lot of setups, man. It's just frustrating to not be there and be in the driver's seat, So, for next time, if we're feeling fearful and we're hesitant, we cannot trade. And to look at the trade from LMAO on the resumption here, we had resumption, which was at 944. You know, it's funny because you know, as I was mentioning earlier, a stock like this has no, it's unforgiving, right? No mercy, no mercy, and so I'm fearless. I'm way more fearless, and I think it's because you know a lot of it is me being on time. I'm here, I'm watching, I'm ready. I assess my risk. You know, I spoke to Wrongbet in Discord about this one. A few of you guys were in Discord there listening into that conversation where I talked about my risk, and you guys can come back and rewatch this area here, right? I spoke about what I wanted to do, how I wanted to approach the trade, how much I'm willing to risk, why I feel like it'll be a good trade. And in fact, just for the sake of the recap, right? Let's go back to where it's halted, and we can skip through it a little bit here and there for time, but let's just listen in. I think it's worth it here. Let's listen in to how I'm approaching this halt, and it was actually a 10-minute. Well, okay, it was a 10-minute halt. Maybe not. Right? Maybe it might be a little too time consuming, but you guys can check it out. Right, timestamp is around. It seems like 30 minutes into the live stream. But what I did my due diligence. This is a stock that's off the scanner, right? Shout out to Momo Pro. I checked my daily chart. I checked the float. I checked the volume. I checked our price range. You know, based off of my experience in this range where we're at in this price, what is likely to happen with the spreads? It's a 10-minute halt. What is likely to happen on a 10-minute halt? We sometimes will resume significantly higher, right? So everything here was according to plan. So watch this. We're halted at 11:13, guys. Watch this incredible resumption here. $12.30 and climbing. $12.77 for highs. Look at this drop. Look at how fast. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll let it play. I'll let this play and then we'll pause it. I gotta stop doing that. Hands off. Let it play. 77 for the highs. I'm long. It rips. I'm out. Dip and rip. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that, man? I gotta ask Marcelo. I forgot to ask him if he took this trade. Alright. 12.30, 12.77 for those highs. Look at how sharp this dip is. We go from 77 to 69. And the issue I had here, right? The issue that I have so on this DAS platform, you guys will see 500 shares are in my order entry window. I could have hit Control V to buy 2 cents above the bid price at 71. The only issue with that is, you know, I don't know if I would have gotten filled, right? So I want to ask somebody who took this with an offset, because you see how, you know, like look at the orders here. Unless we're seeing red on the tape, it's hard to get filled unless they're selling at or below the bid price, right? So here we go. There's 71, right? We're seeing orders going through, but you know, that seems like it might have been a market order. I can't tell if it's a buy or sell, but we're now at 71. There's 1,000 shares going through, right? 71 again, and you can see, you know, we bounced. So the question would have been, if I put out, you know, it's a great fill, right? It's a great fill if I can get that 72 entry, a couple cents above the bids rather, right here. But you know, will we get filled? Will we get filled? And it's why, guys, there are stocks, right? There are a few stocks out there that are this volatile, but the spreads happen to be tighter when we get exaggerated moves. So another day, right? Sometime in whether this market or another hot market, whatever it is, there will be stocks that will drop just like this, $1 a share, but instead of 69 by 01, we'll see 69 by like 75. And those are the ones where I can use the big size, because I don't even mind slippage of 5 cents. 5 cents is a lot of slippage, yes, but I don't even mind 5 cents of slippage because I know that the slingshot is in effect. And once this does work, once this trade does work, we're seeing at least 40-50 cents on this bounce. This goes from 70, you know, to 40 on the bids, you know. Incredible. 70 cents. 70 cents. Absolutely incredible. And it's back down fast. So, you also want to see them be a little bit thicker, a little bit more volume. But that's the trade. We got in, we got out quick and clean. Way more risky, way more volatile, and I'm fearless in this trade here. So I think just being on time, because for me, I'm never really too worried about the trades. It's just a matter of being there, man. You don't want to feel FOMO. You don't want to feel like the stock is too extended. You don't want to feel like, I don't know, for those of you who might be living in the New York area, it's like when they say in a train, the subway, stand clear of the closing doors, please. And then that bell rings. It's like, some people run, they fall, they put their hands into the train door so they can still get in. Like you've seen, if you're living in New York, you saw all the craziness in the subway of people trying to catch the train, And if the train have left the station, it's just too much. It's just too much to try and jump on. You can fall onto the tracks and get hurt. So if it's too risky, if it's too far up, sometimes you just got to leave it alone. If you're too fearful, because ultimately we got to be fearless and without hesitation. So that was essentially the day, guys. We had another small trade in here. We took a dip. I was looking at level 2. I thought this thing was holding really well. I took a small position at 11.58, and I sold for a couple dollars. And that was basically the day. We definitely could have done better. There were things we could have improved on for the other stock, especially if even at the point where we saw it. And we'll make sure that doesn't happen again tomorrow. It's like sometimes for me, I hate complaining, but sometimes it feels like there's just a different, different circumstance, right? Slightly different circumstance that kind of leads you to something negative sometimes when it comes to this trading field, But yeah, AMPX. This one moved up all right, but big spreads, a little harder to trade. We churned shares a lot. We were up 75 or 80, back to flat, then green 130, then giving back a lot of it, and then just too much back and forth, a lot of chop. Tried to buy when spreads were a little tighter on this one, but just couldn't get it done. It was a nice moving stock, though, all things considered. Break of 10, I sold 1 second too soon. I think it was here. Where was it? Yeah, I think right here. Right on this candle, I was long in at 99. Sold 1 second too soon and missed the push up to 23 right here. That was so disappointing, man. So disappointing. We could have gotten, the bids were pretty high on that move, too. We could have gotten like 16, 17 for the out, which would have given us some more gains. That would have added nicely to the gains. Another, 15 cents, 75 bucks. That would have pushed us at that time to like, I believe like 150, maybe 160 on the name. Yeah, but that's how it goes. Sometimes sometimes you give back a little bit. But the good news is that we're green. And we got to try and build a little bit of a green stretch here, man, because it's been slow and steady. And, the month has been a very choppy month. So continue to trade smart, guys. Continue to trade setups. I'm going to shut it down here. I got to stop trying to talk so fast. That's my issue. It's making me stutter a little bit. But relentless, man. Relentless has to slow it down. Calm down. Look at the symbols. Stop calling the wrong symbols. And, get it under control. Get dialed in. Traders, it's been RT. I hope you enjoyed the recap. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing. And of course, check out the links down below, right? I'll catch you guys next time, bright and early tomorrow morning, 8:50, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Stay safe and stay green.